Today, we are going to talk about how to plan a trip in 2022. I have been traveling full-time now for about 4.5 years. I'm on a trip right now. You can see my suitcase right there. I have learned a thing or two about how to have a successful trip, and in my opinion, it comes down to planning. So today I'm going to share everything about how I plan a trip, starting from how I pick my destination to the nitty-gritty spreadsheet that I have for almost every single trip that I go on. Without further ado, let's get started. And the first tip, I'm going to tell you just like right off the bat, there's always things that will go wrong or be totally different from how it looked online, no matter how much research you did. So I find just like having a good attitude, expecting the unexpected, and when something inevitably goes not necessarily wrong, but just like not the way you had planned or expected, take it as it comes, laugh it off, and like put on your problem-solving hat, and don't let the little things ruin your trip. I just wanted to like start this whole video with that because I feel like that's so important, and I've traveled with people before who have bad attitudes, and avoid that like the plague. You gotta have a good attitude. So that is my first tip. Now onto the actual planning. So when you are planning a trip, the very first thing that you're gonna need to do is pick where you wanna go. There are a bunch of questions I ask myself to help me pick the most appropriate destination for what kind of trip I want to have. So first question is, what is your budget? That is going to be a huge indicator of which country you go to, how long you spend there, what sort of activities you're going to do. One thing I always consider myself, being Canadian, is how far is my currency going to go in the country that I'm visiting? Second question I ask myself is, how much time do I want to allot to this trip? Do I have just 10 days? Do I want to go for a month, a weekend? Next question I always ask myself, is this a vacation or is this travel? Because vacation and travel, in my opinion, are extremely different. The last question I always ask myself is, how much time do I want to dedicate to transit? If you have a limited amount of time set aside to do your trip, you don't want to dedicate like 30 hours to flying somewhere really remote, because it's going to really cut into your trip time. And the whole point of travel is to see new places, not sit on the inside of a smelly plane and eat really crappy plane fare. So once you've asked yourself those questions and you have sort of figured out which country or general region you want to travel to, this is where I take my broad search to a fine search. And I do a lot more granular research on the country or region where I want to travel to try and figure out specifically where I want to go. So how I do this is, first off, travel blogs. Travel blogs are amazing. People have lists of what they believe are the best places to visit. Read a few travel blogs because everyone's opinion is different. Another place I go to research the place I would like to visit is YouTube, obviously. Video tends to capture things that an Instagram post can edit out or a blog can edit out, and video, it's a little bit harder to hide the truth. So another way I like to get more information on the destination I am traveling to is through Google Maps. And I don't actually think I know anyone else who does this. Comment below if you do, but what I do is I go to Google Maps, I like zoom in on the destination, and then I search restaurants. What I do is I look through all the restaurants and I look at the caliber of the restaurants. I look at, is that something I would eat, or is it kind of like, kind of dicey? I find that will give you a really good idea of the type of people who visit the destination you're going to, what the amenities are going to be like, etc. So now we are going to get into my absolute favorite part of trip planning. I am a nerd and I love a good spreadsheet, so I'm going to show you guys every detail on how I plan and execute a trip in my, I don't want to say they're like famous spreadsheets, and they're not famous, literally the only people who look at them are me. But for the first time, I'm going to show you how I plan all my trips on these spreadsheets. But before we get into that, I would like to thank Surfshark for being the sponsor of today's video. Surfshark is a VPN that protects your sensitive data and online privacy. They are having an epic Black Friday sale right now where you can get 83% off your subscription and 4 months for free. As you guys know, there's a ton of sales going on around Black Friday, so you can actually use your Surfshark subscription to find better deals for like anything thing you're shopping for on Black Friday. It's amazing. I've used it about 1,000,000 times to do that. So make sure you head to surfshark.deals/Robyn to get 83% off and 4 months for free. They also have a 30-day money back guarantee. So let's say you download it, you're like, nah, not for me, which I don't think you're gonna say, but if you do, it's not for you, you can get your money back. So there's really no risk. Thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. And with that, it is now time to get into my spreadsheet that contains every single detail you're going to need to know about a trip. So I have my laptop handy and I'm going to pop the spreadsheet on the screen now. So this spreadsheet here is for an actual trip that I am taking to Europe next year. All of the yellow rows, those are transit. All of the blue rows are where I'm going to be staying and what we're going to be doing. Just to take you step by step. So in this first column here, I have written down my flight information, how much it costs, how long it's going to take. And then in the second transit row, I outline exactly how I'm going to get from the airport to our hotel, because it is no fun to arrive somewhere, believe me, get off the plane, pick up your phone when you don't have service in that country and be like, how am I getting to my hotel? That's stressful and it's so easily avoided by just pre-planning. So what I did was I found there is a 13 euro train, the, what is it called? The Malpensa Express, which takes you directly like a 5-minute walk from my hotel. And then what I do is in this blue column here, or sorry, blue row, I outline our first stay. So I say the dates we're going to be staying there, the location, I include the hotel name, the cost of the hotel. This hotel really did cost us $0, and I have a video coming up on how you can stay in really nice 5-star hotels for free. So stay tuned for that. These are the requirements to enter Italy. And then I have how to get around. So this is the link to the transit system in Italy. And then my favorite column, which I usually spend the most amount of time on, is things to do, where to eat, things to see, historical places to visit, etc. So you can see my list for the things that I'm hoping to do in Milan, but to be honest, mostly I just want to drink wine and eat pasta. So that's the main schedule for that. Next, we have our next transit column here. So you can see we'll be going February 5th from the Milan train station to Lugano. That's going to cost us 30 euros, take an hour and a half, and here is the link to get there. So there's no questions. We don't not know how we're getting anywhere. For me, it just makes travel so much easier when you just know what's happening. Like, it's just easier. So those are my tips for how to plan a trip in 2022. I feel like I can make about 100 videos on this, including how to book your flights, how to pick your hotels, and go into like so much further detail on every aspect of trip planning, because again, I've been doing this for so long. I have so much knowledge to share. So let me know if you would like to see more videos like this. But in the meantime, please leave me a comment below. Tell me which of the tips you like the best. If there's something that I missed that you would feel is necessary to include in the trip planning process. Can't talk here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.